Borderlands 3 has a ton of legendary weapons, and a lot of them you can only get from world drops. However, there is quite a few enemies that you can go to farm for specific legendaries. So in this video, I'm going to be covering 10 awesome legendary weapon locations that you can go to in Borderlands 3 Part 2. Returning from Borderlands 1 and 2, we have the legendary HELLFIRE SMG. For those of you who played Borderlands 1 and 2, you will remember this weapon as an absolute killing machine, especially in Borderlands 1, as it was one of the best weapons in the game. However, in this game, it's actually manufactured by Dahl instead of Maliwan. The weapon itself has decent stats across the board and has additional effects of boosted critical hit damage, weapon fire rate, and weapon accuracy. The flavor text for this weapon reads, "We don't need no something," which is a play on words to the two previous versions of the weapon, which had the flavor text, "We don't need no fire," and "We don't need no water." The unique abilities of this gun is that it always comes with the incendiary element, has an increased magazine size, has an increase to elemental damage and elemental chance, and also has a great boost to elemental splash damage, making this weapon an absolute beast to use. Like seriously, this gun is good. To get this weapon, you will need to head to the planet of Eden 6 and go to the Ferocious Canopy region. From there, you will want to head over to this location on the map, and this is where one of Sir Hammerlock's legendary hunt crew challenges resides. To farm for this, you want to make sure you hit this spawn point. It's located right here, and every time you reload your game, this is where you're going to spawn. From there, simply head to the crew challenge location, and you'll be looking to fight the creature known as Jabba Mogwai. It's here where the HELLFIRE has a chance to spawn. It did take me a few tries to get this weapon, even on Mayhem 3, but it's definitely a very viable weapon to use and one to add to that collection of yours. Next up, we have a legendary Dahl pistol known as the Nightflyer. Now what I love about this weapon is the Easter egg behind you obtaining it. To get this gun, you will first want to head over to the Carnivora region on the planet of Pandora. Once here, you will want to head over to this location on the map, and this will be your spawn point for farming it. It's also here where you can tell if a certain returning enemy from Borderlands 2 known as Rackman has spawned. If you look into the sky exactly how I am in the video, you may notice a huge bat-like symbol gleaming into the air. This is the symbol for Rackman. Again, he is a rare enemy spawn, so if you don't see that symbol in the sky, then simply reload your game and you will eventually see that symbol. Anyway, once you have a Rackman spawned in, you will now want to head over to the Rack Cave. This is located right here on the map, and of course, the Rack Cave is a clear reference to the Bat Cave. And Rackman in general is a reference to the DC Comics superhero Batman. Anyway, once inside the Rack Cave, Rackman himself will spawn, and it's here where you have a chance to obtain the legendary Nightflyer. The weapon itself is actually pretty cool. It has decent stats and also has the flavor text, "I have one rule."
It's in control. I have one rule.
Oh, then that's the rule you'll have to break to know the truth.
Which is?
The unique ability of this gun is pretty weird. It does a lot of damage, more than the gun actually states, but it will always leave your enemies at 1 HP, which means that you do have to switch to a different weapon to actually kill them. I see this as more of a gimmicky cool weapon to have as opposed to something you would generally use, but it's definitely one for you collectors out there. For the next weapon on this list, we have the legendary pistol known as the LINC. Because this weapon is manufactured by Atlas, it does have a tracker grenade that when fired will make all of the projectiles you fire home in on the target for 12 seconds. It has decent base stats across the board and also has the flavor text, "Power is pizza," which is a reference to the TV series Parks and Recreation.
Kid, come on, time is money, money is power, power is pizza, pizza is knowledge.
To get this weapon, you will want to get the side quest known as Malevolent Practice. You can obtain this quest from Sir Hammerlock on the planet of Eden 6 in the region of Floodmore Basin's Knotty Peak. And once you have started the quest, it will take you to an area known as the Anvil. And towards the end of the quest itself, you will come across an enemy known as the Anointed Alpha. The Anointed Alpha is the enemy who has a chance to drop the LINC. At this current time, I'm unsure what the unique ability of this gun does, apart from the fact that it has an increased magazine size and seems to hit a lot harder than most other Atlas pistols. Yet another awesome legendary weapon you can obtain is known as the GARCIA. The GARCIA is a Jacob shotgun that hits pretty damn hard, but does also have the drawback of high ammo consumption due to the fact that it consumes 2 ammo per shot. The gun itself shoots a spread of 10 shotgun bullets per hit, has a boost to reload speed, and also has the flavor text Rooty Tooty Pointy Shooty, which is simply just an English slang term for gun. Its unique ability, I believe, is the fact that it has a very good fire rate and an extremely high magazine size for a Jacob shotgun. And because it does have that high magazine size and fire rate, it does make this weapon a very viable weapon to use. Now, to obtain this, it actually drops from an enemy known as Chunk Stomp, which yet again is another one of Sir Hammerlock's legendary hunt crew challenges on the planet of Eden 6 in the Floodmoor Basin region. Simply head over to this location on the map and this is where the enemy will spawn. The Pestilence is another awesome legendary weapon for you to obtain. It's a Children of the Vault pistol that quite literally melts enemies as it packs out a ton of radiation damage and is very good for general use. The weapon has great stats across the board with a high fire rate and a boost to weapon charge speed. And of course, because it's a COV weapon, it has an unlimited mag size except for the fact that the gun can overheat if you spray it for too long. To obtain this gun, you will want to head over to the Jacob's Estate region on Eden 6. It's here where you will come across another one of the legendary hunt crew challenges, and an enemy known as Heckle will spawn, which is also a reference to Jekyll and Hyde, by the way. Anyway, once you have slain Heckle, he has a chance to drop the Pestilence. Again, overall, the weapon is very powerful, so if you're looking for a boost to your arsenal, this is a gun that you will want to go for. Next up, we have the legendary Jacob sniper known as the HEADSPLOSION. The HEADSPLOSION is fairly unique in the sense that it shoots out projectiles that explode on impact, causing explosive damage, which also plays into the flavor text that states, "That happens all the time." In terms of its stats, they're pretty decent across the board. It has decent damage, it has very good accuracy for a Jacob sniper, but it also has additional effects of boosted splash damage, but does come with a decrease to critical hit damage. However, this is mitigated by the fact that upon a critical hit, it will ricochet 3 bullets to the nearest enemy. The HEADSPLOSION is obtained as a drop from an enemy known as Manvark in the Conrad's Hold region of Pandora. You can find this located right here on the map, and just to mention as well, the spawn point is really close to this location, so Manvark will be very easy to farm. The weapon in general, I mean, it isn't the best, there is better weapons to use out there, but it's definitely one to go for if you're interested in collecting them all. Coming up next, we have the NIMBLE Jacob shotgun that has the unique ability to pretty much become a sniper rifle when airborne, as its accuracy when airborne is ridiculously high, making this a very fun weapon to use. The weapon has good base stats across the board, but does have the drawback of only having 1 shot in the magazine. It also offers boost to normal weapon damage and critical hit damage, and also has the flavor text of Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump up and kill lunatics, which is a play on the nursery rhyme Jack be nimble. The Nimble Jack can be found on Promethea in the region of Skywell 27. You will find this in the very lower sections of Skywell, and it will be located in one of Zero's Target of Opportunity crew challenges. It's here where you will face off against an enemy known as Handsome Jackie, and it's here where the Nimble Jack has a chance to spawn. Returning from Borderlands 1, we have the legendary TSUNAMI SMG. In Borderlands 1, this was one of the most sought after weapons in the game. It was a pearlescent gun that did normal damage, shock damage, and corrosive damage all at the same time, and it now returns in Borderlands 3 in similar style. The TSUNAMI in this game is a legendary weapon and not a pearlescent weapon. It's manufactured by Maliwan and has the flavor text that states, "You can't explain that," which plays into the unique ability that allows this gun to shoot normal rounds, but also occasionally shoot out 5 projectiles of the shock and corrosive element. Because of this unique ability, it makes the TSUNAMI a very good gun to use, and again bear in mind, all of the footage that you guys see in the background is on Mayhem 3, so all of the enemies do have increased health and shields. To obtain this weapon, you will need to farm a boss known as Katagawa Ball, who you will naturally come across in the story. He can be found in the Skybar region of Promethea, and you need to make your way through the entire section, as Katagawa Ball does in fact spawn at the very end. Overall, the gun is awesome, and it's great to see returning weapons like these in Borderlands 3. Coming up next, we have a guaranteed way for you to get the sought after legendary sniper known as the LYUDA. The LYUDA is a fan favorite weapon from Borderlands 2 and is extremely powerful, especially if you're running the right types of character builds, which by the way, I am working on a character builds video, so that should be going up sometime soon. Anyway, you can get this weapon as a guaranteed quest reward for completing all of Zero's Target of Opportunity crew challenges. There's a total of 10 for you to complete, and if you want a full guide on all 10 of those locations, I'll leave a link in the description and comment section below. Again, once you have completed all 10 of Zero's crew challenges, he will then send you the weapon into your mailbox, which you can access by going to the social section on the pause menu and then heading over to your mail. Moving back over to the weapon now, the flavor text for this is Man Killer, which plays into its unique ability to shoot one projectile that will split into 3 projectiles on a horizontal plane. Now, if you do manage to get the ×2 variant of this weapon, it will then allow you to shoot 2 projectiles that will then split into 6 bullets, and that turns this gun into an absolute killing machine. Like seriously, this is one of the best sniper rifles in the game. Just to mention, it does also have additional effects of boosted critical hit damage, weapon accuracy, and fire rate. And for the final weapon of the video, we have the Queen's Call. And I have to say, this is one of the best weapons in the game for you flak characters out there. And even in general, this weapon puts out a very good amount of damage. The weapon itself is manufactured by Jacobs, and what makes this weapon so unique is that when you get a critical hit on a target, it will ricochet 3 elemental projectiles into the air that home in on the target and do an incredible amount of damage. But in addition to this, every time you get a critical hit, it also returns 3 bullets into your magazine, turning this weapon into an absolute killing machine, especially for you flak characters out there. Now, spoilers up ahead, be warned, you obtain this weapon from the final boss of the game, being Tyreen the Destroyer. Once you've completed the game, you can fast travel to a location known as the Destroyer's Rift on the planet of Pandora, and it's here where you can farm for the Queen's Call. Again, this weapon, it just melts everything in front of you. It does offer really good base stats across the board, and its only drawback is the fact that it only has 2 bullets in the magazine, which makes it a more viable weapon to use if you're running a flak character with a crit build. But even aside from that, it's just generally a great weapon. It looks awesome and is definitely one for you guys to go out and collect. And that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed the video today, be sure to leave a like down below. It's always greatly appreciated on the channel. I tried to condense these into very small portions of the list so the video isn't like 40 minutes long, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more legendary weapon locations similar to this one, then check out part 1 of this video, which I will leave linked in the description below. I'll be doing a ton more top 10 and top 5 videos on this game, so if it's something you're interested in, then subscribe. Other than that, hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next video.